All right, I'm just going to double check that we're live on Facebook right now. Let's see here. All right, we are live. Any kind of comments or anything like that on YouTube or Facebook, they'll show up in the little pane next to us. All the notifications just went out, so I'm sure people will be chiming in and out here as we go. But Cody Waggoner from Lasernut, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Actually had an allergy attack. I went and cleaned out the dust filters in the generator room because we live off the grid here at Lasertown.
Mm-hmm.
And we put this filter bank up, and this fine dust comes out of the filters when you clean them out. And I didn't think of putting a mask on, even though I should probably have a mask on, right? Because of this whole crisis thing. And my allergies freaking just went crazy. So I went to my wife. I can't. I'm sneezing and I'm getting all crazy. Can I take some Benadryl? So she gave me some children's Benadryl, and it knocked me out for like 2 hours. I've been sitting on the couch and I just woke up. So I'm glad I'm awake.
Yeah, my favorite like meme of Benadryl is you can't have allergies if you're passed the fuck out. So that's always a good one to have on there. But I'll tell
That
you,
stuff just I don't know. It just kills me.
yeah, I definitely agree.
It just knocks me out.
It's very true. I will say for those listening, watching, we've got some people watching. There's a little bit of delay. Cody is actually in Lasertown right now. If you can't tell, but he's actually offered to give us a tour at some point. So whenever you want to go through that, we can do that. But first, I really want to see, how are you doing? How's your family doing? Obviously, you guys are taking quarantine to the maximum level. Are you guys making it okay?
Yeah, you know, we the governor of California, which my 4-year-old's teaching, well, not showing my dad how to level his truck. He just came in today to Lasertown to get away. But anyways, about a month ago, there was the whole, lockdown, and our governor Newsom, was one of the first, I think, to say stay at home and don't do anything and close your businesses, and we took it to heart. Didn't know how to, you hear all the conspiracy theories on Facebook. It's 5G and it's all this crazy, crazy ideas of what it really is, taking our rights away and everything else. And I listened to all that, and then I listened to other people, and I still don't know what to believe. I know it's bad, and I don't want it. But my family spent 30 days at home. Obviously, we used to go out to eat like every other day, so that was new.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, my business Lasernut is a essential related business. So I know a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, you make bumpers, you make off-road parts. How is that a related business? So I want to clear that up if anyone's curious on how we were able to stay open. So most of our business is their auto repair facilities. That's what they're classified under. So which is part of the transportation, which is part of the critical infrastructure, which is a related essential business. So we actually do make parts for military, police, fire. Come to find out, like one of our customers, Rugged Radios, they make they supply the radios for the fire department and the police department. So we make the brackets. So we have to stay open so they can stay open. So it actually worked out quite well. There was a few people, we went to our entire staff and we like, if you guys feel like you need to stay home or you don't feel safe, then we understand. You can stay home. So we had a couple that choose to do that, but most of our employees decided to. There's Lacey. Say hi, Lacey.
Hey, Lacey.
So that's my 4.5-year-old. So anyways, we're kind of getting off track here, but yeah, we're able to stay open. Business has still been good. People still buying parts, which is great. Johnson Valley is still open. It's crazy. Every weekend there's hundreds and hundreds of people that come out here and camp like it's a holiday weekend. It's wild. And then on Monday it's a ghost town. So like right now it's Wednesday and there's maybe 5 campers, which is crazy too, because normally there's no one, and just us out here. So we spent the 30-day lockdown at home, and everyone was doing great, but we have a little house in San Clemente. I mean, I think it's 2,000 square feet, and no yard. Very condensed, a lot of people in that area, and I'm like, you know what? And from the beginning, I'm like, let's stay here. Let's make sure we got plenty of food, and we got a generator in case the out, and all this stuff. Planning for the worst is going to happen.
Yeah.
And we did that. They did it for 30 days. And then we came out here last Thursday. So we've almost been here a week. It'll be our sixth day today. And it's been great. It's good to get out in the fresh air and see that all the butterflies are out and the birds are out, and bats. We get bats at night. And it's been great. It's been my 4.5-year-old loves it. My 14-year-old, well, that's a whole different story. If she was locked in her bedroom for 24 hours a day, I think she'd be happy.
Yeah.
Playing Fortnite.
14 is not that far away from where I am, so I remember 14 pretty well.
I think I've lost you, Jesse. Hold on. I see you. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Let's see. So I can still hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear you. Let me move around.
Okay. If you let's see.
That's weird.
I'm gonna boot you off real quick. Is that better?
Yeah, for some reason I can't hear you. I can see you. Oh, there's a chat. Let me click that. Try to rejoin. Okay. Close Safari and come back.
So we're doing a little bit of troubleshooting here.
Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Cody is in Lasernut, and for those who,
close the whole thing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna shut the whole thing down and come back in.
Yes, sounds good. Okay, so Cody is in Lasertown right now, and it's kind of crazy because if you've ever seen an aerial shot of what Lasertown is, I'm going to actually pull it up here. Lasertown JV. Let me tell you guys, he's literally in the middle of nowhere. So the fact that he's even able to do anything is pretty amazing. So I would expect us to kind of have a little bit of hit or miss stuff here. Man, I can't find an aerial view of it, but if it puts it into any perspective, this is so pretty much this is where he's at. He's in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty interesting to say the least. Okay, it's not one to play nice with me here, but you can see over here, Cody's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna. Oh, there he is. He's back in. I'm gonna get you. Is that better?
Yeah, I lost audio for some reason. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on.
No, you're fine. Yeah, no, I was explaining to people that may not know exactly where you are, and it's in the middle of nowhere. So I expect some kind of technical difficulty.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique property. So there's government. There's the private parcels from Boone Road is where everyone comes in, and that's where everyone camps right by the bridge. And there's 10, 20, 40 acre parcels all the way out to the pistachio farm, everyone calls it, because that's where a pistachio farm was. And there's government land surrounding these parcels, 360 degrees. So there's no electricity, there's no water, there's nothing, and it's very isolated. It's really cool. I mean, there's Means Dry Lake over there. That's where King of the Hammers is. It's about a half a mile away.
So let me ask you this: how do you mentioned earlier? How do you guys get food out there?
Food. We go to the grocery store.
Okay.
I wish Instacart would come out here. We haven't tried it, but we go into town. Yucca Valley, which is it's a town, and it has food. It has Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, grocery stores. It's an actual town.
Okay, cool. So one thing I wanted to bring up too is, what are your thoughts on, you kind of mentioned it earlier, there's a lot of conflicting information about the coronavirus, about all this stuff going on. What are your thoughts with everything that has been going on, how they say you need to wear a mask, not wear a mask, and the crazy pandemic? And yesterday in UCLA, they released a paper that said basically there's been 440,000 cases in California that they estimate, and the mortality rate is 0.1% now, according to that. I mean, is it getting blown out of proportion, or what are we thinking? Because obviously Italy is real, but what's going on here in America? I think I may have lost you.
I got to stop moving. That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Did you lose me?
There you go. No, you're back. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to stop moving. That's what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so on the whole COVID-19 coronavirus, I don't know what to believe. I mean, I know there's something out there. Did it get made in a lab? Did the Democrats come up with it to get Trump out? I mean, there are so many ideas on the whole thing. I do know it's not something I want, or I want my family to get. Agreed. And I was telling you, Ricky Johnson, he's a famous bike. He did the bikes and stuff. He was out at King of the Hammers too. He actually got it and explained, kind of in layman's terms, the 14-day process. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, it was a milder case, and he got through it. But the bottom line is you need to be healthy. You don't want to be a diabetic. You don't want to be overweight. You want to be a pretty healthy person. And if you get it, which eventually you're going to get it, that's right. What I think the scariest part of the whole thing is it's not going to go away. So when we reopen America and we get moving again, it's still there, guys. Everyone, we're going to have to use social distancing. The whole mask thing, I don't know. I touch my face more with the mask than I don't without the mask.
That's a common thing.
Is it weird not to see anyone's face and you only see their eyes? And I don't know. The whole thing's different, I mean, we used to make fun of people that were in China wearing masks. In Japan, we went to Japan a few months ago, and there's people mask on. It's just like, what the hell are they doing? They got a mask on, and now it's required to wear a mask. I don't think it should be required, possibly, to wear a mask. But then again, I don't know. I'm not as smart as these other people that are making these decisions. So I assume they're making good decisions. And I don't know. It's a tough one. Out here, I should have worn a mask, or I wouldn't have had an allergy attack. So yeah, sometimes I think there's times when you should make it, have it on, and there's times that you're probably okay. I'm not going to sleep with one on. That's for sure.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is just because, man, not to downplay, but man, just the crazy run that all of the information we have and the access to information has really blown this into something wild. So I'm really interested in getting everyone's thoughts on it, because it's so funny. People out west are taking it very seriously. Northeast, very seriously. People in the South, particularly around me, they're not really taking it that serious. I don't know if that's true for the entire South or Midwest or what have you, but traffic is the same. Maybe it's less, but it's very interesting just to see how everyone is responding. So I like getting your take, because you're on the other side of the, obviously, just a different perspective for sure. But back to
on the traffic part, on the traffic part, I'll tell you one thing. I hope all the people that are afraid stay home, because they don't know how to freaking drive, especially Prius drivers. I mean, the freeways have been. I'm 100 miles from Lasernut to work, and I get there in an hour and 40 minutes with no traffic. It's amazing. I haven't seen an accident in the last 36 days.
Wow.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this too, because you kind of touched on it earlier. Can you tell me a little bit more about what Lasernut does, like the services that it provides? Because I feel like I see things come out of the social media, and like, you guys make the Ultra 4 trophies, you guys do, this and that. And it's like, you guys do a little bit of everything that involves metal. Can you tell me a little bit more about generic scope?
Yeah. So for the most part, we're a glorified welding shop. and we decided to get a. Well, let me give you a little history.
Okay.
So Lasernut was started back in '84, and we built powder coating equipment. We didn't do powder coating, but we built the equipment for powder coating. So if no one knows what powder coating is, it's like the easiest way to understand powder coating is, look, your bicycle frame is more than likely powder coated. If you have a bicycle frame and has that real strong coating on it, it's probably powder coated. So it's not a liquid coat, it's a powder coat, which is stronger, more resistible to weather, and lasts longer. We built the equipment for 20 years. And then in 2006, my dad, on the way to a rock crawling competition, he used to spot for me back then, said, hey son, we're going to buy a laser. And I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to do with the laser? Well, we're going to cut metal with it. So we bought this laser, a used 1500 watt Mazak, spent a year learning how to run the laser. And then in 2007, when we got it running, everyone looked at each other in the board meeting and said, okay, who's going to go get to work? And we all looked. I'm like, well, I'll go get to work. I'm not doing anything. So I started going door to door and getting work. And with the rock crawling, my sponsors actually needed laser cutting. So I was like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I'll hit up my sponsors, like Advanced Adapters, and a few others. And then we started cutting exhaust flanges also. So it kind of snowballed from there. We do laser cutting. We do bending. So we bend up the flat parts. We do welding. We actually have 3 robotic welders. So we do a lot of welding. We make full-on bumpers. We don't sell anything directly. We sell it to other companies, and then they sell it. So to give you an idea of kind of what we do, and I'm going to try not to walk around too much so I don't lose connection, but on this container house, this is a good example of what we do. So like this here, this whole piece right here, this was a 90-degree bent, and then it was interlocked together. So what this is what locks my container when I go home. It actually locks the door from the inside out. So that's cool. One piece that we did that we laser cut. Over here, you'll see that light up there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a light up there. Well, that enclosure, we drew it up in 3D, and we laser cut it, bent it, and welded it up. So that's another piece that we did. And then over here, if you look at the air conditioner, there's an air conditioner up there. Well, we made a complete housing to house the air conditioner. And then other fun things like that flower that's up there, the metal flower, that's all laser cut. So Lasertown actually has quite a bit of cool stuff. Obviously, we're not going to buy it. We're going to make it ourselves. And really anything. We're a job shop. So we do everything and anything that comes through the door. We specialize. Oh, here's another cool one. Hopefully I don't disconnect. This one's really cool. Man, so this really shows what we can do. So this, one of our designers, I've always wanted a cactus, but I've never wanted to spend $3,000 on a cactus. So I got with James, one of our lead designers. I said, here, this is the cactus I want, and I'm not willing to spend $3,000 on it. So he designed this all in SolidWorks. It's all laser cut out. And then it bends. It's all bent up with a CNC bend, and then we weld it together. So if anyone wants a cool cactus and it's not $3,000, it's about half that price, we can make it for you.
So that's really funny because that actually answered my next question. You guys.
One more.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Here's one more. This is my dad. He's the owner. How you doing?
Hey.
So he just showed up to Lasertown. How's it going? He just showed up to Lasertown, and he has these really cool electric bikes. Well, the electric bikes, they have the big wide tires and they're heavy. So we designed this really cool bike rack to hold the electric bikes. It actually encases the front tire and then the rear tire, and then we put a strap over it. But
cool,
easy to get it on and off. But I mean, everywhere Lasertown kind of is made up of cool stuff that we do.
That's really cool. Trying to think here. I was enamored. Oh, right. So on your Instagram or Facebook a while ago, you guys had a contest to see. I don't remember if it was to guess the height or guess how much it weighed, but I think you guys built like a 34-foot tall cactus. Was that right?
We had a 14 foot tall cactus.
Okay, maybe it was a 14-foot. I'm getting my numbers inflated here. But what do you do with a 14-foot metal cactus?
Well, that one is another one. I didn't want to spend. I think if to buy a 14-foot tall cactus, it was like $8,500, which
Oh
is
my
a lot of
gosh.
money for a metal cactus.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, we can make that. So we made that, and I was going to bring it out to Lasertown kind of to display what we do,
Mhm.
and it ended up it's at our shop now, so it's kind of our signature piece. We got rid of all our grass at our shop
Mhm.
to save on water and save on the maintenance of mowing the lawn and put it rock in. So the cactus kind of goes with the theme of the shop.
Yeah, that's I think it's awesome. When I saw it, it was like just one of those outrageous things that really is an eye catcher, and you just kind of go like, someone built this because they could.
I really like to build cool stuff, and someday maybe start selling it. I mean, we just made 100 tire trays, these aluminum. A couple of my friends, Mike Johnson and Jeff McKinley, wanted some tire trays.
Mhm.
So I'm like, well, I'll make a run on it, and I'll put Lasernut Racing on the side, and I'll put 2020 King of the Hammers.
Mhm.
So I posted that, I don't know, a week ago, and I must have got like 30 people who want to buy them. So I just came up with pricing on that, and we're gonna start hopefully selling them. Our company would never accept credit cards. We've done
Mhm.
everything by check, and we finally started accepting credit cards. So hopefully we can start selling shirts and hats and
Yeah.
just little trinkety things, because I set a $20 check-in and then
Mhm.
write a job up for it, versus just state of the art, modern, take a credit card. A lot of people don't even have checks anymore, so it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah,
But
I'd have
I
to
think
go
we're
look.
going to expand on what we do.
Yeah, definitely. But one thing I will
But
add is I won one of your cell phone holders in a contest. I think something about guessing the height or the weight of the cactus, and that thing is awesome. It is just so cool. It is one of those. I mean, you just said like little knickknack type things. That is one of those really cool things that uh, you know it sits on my desk in my office. I don't have it at my house, but it is just the coolest thing. I really like that you guys are like constantly moving stuff out and doing little fun contests like that. Uh, and one of which is you give away the panels of your Ultra 4 car. What inspires you to do that? Because that's an investment.
I don't know. I love to give back to the community and to people. I mean, I let people drive my moon buggy. If I felt comfortable, I let people drive my Ultra 4 car also. Oh,
Mhm.
should I let Cameron Steele drive it this last year? He did a really good job.
Yeah.
But it's all about, to me, it's just if you keep it all, I just like to share, in having someone get out of the moon buggy after climbing a vertical wall and go, man, that's the coolest thing I've ever done in my life.
Mhm.
That it's a cool feeling. It's cool. I like it. It's really neat.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah. I think that's a very unique aspect. And I think that if more people adopted that mindset, the world, everyone has their world would be a better place comment. But that's a really great mindset to have. And I think that's what.
And that's,
Go ahead.
I guess another part of it is if you do that with the younger generation,
Hmm.
hopefully they'll want to be in the sport and keep the sport growing. So if you touch 1 or 10 of those kids, and they they start racing, and keep the sport growing, and want to come out to King of the Hammers, or want to go rock crawling, or whatever it is, buy a Jeep and do some trail wheeling,
Hmm.
it just keeps the sport going and people interested in doing it.
Yeah, and that
Hey,
actually.
there's my beautiful wife. I can't turn it. Hold on a second.
That's
Why? I can't show off my beautiful wife. Say hi, honey.
Hey.
That's my better half.
There you go. Mine.
You have anything to say, Annie?
Well, what I was going to actually talk about next was you guys just wrapped up a buggy for your daughter. Tell me a little bit about it, the buggy itself, and there's a couple of videos of her driving it. Did she enjoy it? Is this how you're going to get her into that rock crawling scene?
um, yeah. So originally, I built it for Charlie. She is my 14-year-old or soon to be 14-year-old. Oh, she's gonna be 15.
She'll be 15 next January.
Oh, okay. Holy shit! Shoot, sorry. Yeah. So I don't know. I this Benadryl's knocked. I'm gonna blame it on the Benadryl.
That's fine.
She's 14.
She's 14 and a half. Really?
Yes. We have a year and a half till we buy her a car.
Oh my god, I got a year and a half when I have a driver in my hands. So, yeah, I got it for her thinking that she might get into it, but she's not interested in it, which is fine. Yeah. But my 4.5-year-old, she's gonna be interested in it. She's a hell on wheels, and it'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we built that. I think we picked it up in Texas a year ago, and it's cool. It's really cool. We Ryan Busa did a great job building it there in Texas, and we're really happy with what he did. And we look forward to getting in the rocks. The only rocks it's been in are the ones over there. I actually had to bring rocks in to get them to go rock crawling. Believe it or not. Yes, you heard that correct. I had to bring rocks to Lasertown to get them to go rock crawling at the Hammer. So yeah, well, I hope my younger one decides to.
That's my next question. Do you guys commonly go visit the Hammers right there? Do you guys go wheel, like, hey, it's lunchtime, let's go for a trail?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely do. With King of the Hammers, since King of the Hammers, we haven't really done much rock crawling. We what's going on? I've been doing some rock crawling. We went to Baghdad, Arizona with my moon buggy, and then we were in second place. And in the shootout, I had to do this one line to win, and we did it. We went up on it, and we barrel rolled 20 foot off and landed on our wheels, and won by like 3 points. But we haven't. I mean, yeah, we got the toys. This we haven't really done much this last week yet, but we're always. It seems like you're always working on them more than you're driving.
Yeah.
There's always something to do, to the cars. So, but yeah, for sure. When we have them, we definitely do. The other part that's a little tough with the Hammers is there isn't a lot of people that do hardcore rock crawling in California, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but really the hardcore rock crawlers are in Arizona. They come out for King of the Hammers and here and there, but there really isn't a hardcore group. So if anyone out there knows anyone that wants to do hardcore rock crawling with rear steer and 42-inch tires or larger, I'm always looking for people to go out.
Okay, cool.
I love breaking new trails. To go up and go run Sledgehammer or Jackhammer and Outer Limits, and which we've done I don't know how many times. I like going out and saying, "Do you see that? Looks like no one's been on it. Let's go up that." So I really enjoy that.
How does going in? Okay, let's talk about your moon buggy is a Jesse moon buggy. How does that compare? When you're going any of the trails out there, any of the ones you just named, how does it compare going in your moon buggy versus an Ultra 4 car? How do you drive it different? I mean, how does it feel? How's it ride different?
Well, the difference is huge. Really, the moon buggy, it's designed to go really, really slow. I have 300 pounds of steel shot in each front tire, so technically you can't go that fast, and there isn't much suspension. It's just an air shock on all four corners. Mm-hmm. So it's. I mean, when you're on, say, outer limits trail, you're looking for harder lines than the main trail, and you can make some really cool lines that the Ultra 4 wouldn't even think of doing. So you just look at the trail completely differently. When you're in the Ultra 4, it's typically about speed and how fast you can get through the trail. So if you take the moon buggy on outer limits, it'd probably take, with the extra credit bonuses that you do along the way, it could take hours to get through it. In the Ultra 4 on outer limits, you can be through it. You should be through it if you're good. You should be through it in 10 to 15 minutes. Because you're trying to find the fastest, quickest line. You're not trying to find the hardest obstacle, because the car is not really designed to do, huge obstacles. It's more designed for not bouncing. I look at the Ultra 4 as a spider, because it's independent front and rear. It just floats over the rocks. If you haven't been in this car and you ever have a chance to, it's mind-blowing on how the Ultra 4 is in the rocks. It's kind of like a razor on steroids, and it just floats. And then when you get hung up, it's a whole nother thing. If you get hung up, because you're not getting hung up on the axle, you're only getting hung up typically on the belly, because that's what you slide on. The suspension actually droops out and allows you to get traction and pull off the rock. It's a wild experience.
Now, how do you, when you're looking at a trail and you say, okay, I want to take the hard line in this moon buggy, how do you judge? I mean, I don't have the eye for what exactly that moon buggy can do, because you're right, it can go up vertical walls. It can do some crazy, insane stuff. What do you look for in particular that's like that, extra line is the line I want to try in my moon buggy? I mean, because you can do some wild stuff.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, what are you looking for when you go find those extra lines in your moon buggy? What are you looking for exactly? Vertical rocks, crazy off camber? What's it look like for you?
I guess it's just more big boulders. The bigger the boulders, the more fun you have. And I love, there's this one trail that a guy broke years ago. I forgot the name, but it's just past Plummet Pass, and it's big virgin stuff. And I think that's the best part, is what I look for is stuff that is going to challenge you, like, man, that looks that looks like it's impossible. And then you go up there and you do the impossible. That's what gets me going. That's what, blows my skirt up.
So let me ask you this. You've always used the BFG crawlers. Well, I'll say you use those now. Have you ever experienced, with the sticky Trepadors or a sticky Super Swamp or anything like that? Do you have any comparison there? Because it seems like everybody West Coast just uses crawlers.
Yeah, I really have never been on the Trepadors or any other tire. Back in the day, I was on Goodyear's, and Goodyear was the tire of choice by a lot of guys. And then I switched over to BFG in 2006 when I got my moon buggy, and I've been on it ever since. I think it's a good tire. I love the company and what they stand for, and that it's made in America. That's huge to me. I mean, I've been offered to get money, get more in tires and everything by off brands, and it just isn't worth it to me. I'd rather be on a superior tire, and I love the support. I was actually asked to be part of the design of the next crawler, which is going to be coming out in the future. So I'm hoping I'll be part of that too, which that's kind of cool, so.
Yeah, that's really cool. Can you tell us any information about, are they going to do a different compound, or is it just going to be a different tread pattern, a more advanced tread pattern?
I actually have no idea.
Perfect.
They just mentioned it at King of the Hammers, and then this whole thing came about, and it's kind of just stopped everything. So I would assume it'll be a different tread pattern, just assuming. The compound, I think they hit that, they got that one down. So I couldn't imagine if it being any more softer or a different compound.
Okay. So this has been a topic that I've wanted to ask you about. I actually even DM'd you about it a couple months ago. Obviously, Axial has logos at Lasertown. Axial, they're there with you guys. What can you tell me? Because I'm dying to know.
I can't tell you anything, but I'll let you know. I think next week or the week after, I'm doing a podcast or something similar to this. So be on the lookout for that. It might be worth the watch.
Okay, who are you going to be doing it with?
With Axial, with Horizon Hobbies.
Oh, perfect. Okay, very exciting. I'm very excited about that. I'll say it like this. So you have two awesome options of cars that can be built. You got your Ultra 4 car and you got the Moon Buggy. Either one gets built, I'm buying one, I'm buying two, I'm buying either one that gets built. I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
But with that,
good things to come.
I'm hopeful. But you guys are out there in the desert. What do you do to stay busy? Because you seem like your mind keeps going. You're a very intelligent guy. What are you guys doing to stay busy out there?
Yeah, so one of the best things about Lasertown for me is I call it my sandbox. So okay. I woke up this morning and I got a piece of paper, and I'm working too. So everyone's thinking like, oh, Cody's at Lasertown goofing off. He doesn't work for a living. I believe it or not, I actually work too. So no one ever sees that part. But I'm working remotely. Let's see. I woke up this morning and I cleaned the planters out for the trees. I cleaned out, I think I told you, I cleaned out the generator filters, which is a terrible job for the generator room. Swept out the generator. There's always something to do. That's one thing I love about it up here. I love dragging too. So if you ever come to Lasertown, you'll notice that there'll be no footprints or tracks anywhere on the property. I have this drag that they use for baseball fields. And it gets rid of all footprints. So that is kind of my Zen garden, they call it. I can drag for hours and then one of the guys that get all excited. One of the guys that would come out here and help me out, he would start doing these circle drags. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it from the air, you'll see it looks like one of those those corn things, those corn. Yeah, so I just started doing this. I get kind of dizzy because I get motion sickness, but I started doing that. That's been fun too. But yeah, there's always. I mean, if we're not shooting guns or blowing shit up or catching stuff on fire, I'm already okay. So come to find out, I didn't realize this, but every week a guy comes with this old pickup truck and picks up 10 to 20 of our pallets that are not usable at Lasernut. So I'm like, okay, stop that, guys. Take those crappy pallets, put them right over here, and we're going to take those up to Lasertown because we're going to have the biggest fire ever at King of the Hammers this year. Last year, we had a 50-foot flame. It was so big, the Rangers came, the sheriff came, the fire trucks came from Yucca Valley, and luckily I didn't get arrested because for some reason they thought we had a flamethrower. I don't know where they got that idea. Well, come to find out, a flamethrower is a felony. Whoa! And we're gonna have a huge fire for King of the Hammers, and I learned that to let the fire marshal know the night of, so no one gets dispatched, because last year everyone was calling 911 thinking a structure was on fire, which obviously it wasn't. It was just a big bonfire.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
There's always something to do.
Let's see here.
Yeah, if you go to Instagram, there should be some that fire, a pretty good one. But yeah, there's always. I cannot sit still. I actually fell asleep on the couch because I took the Benadryl, and I think I took a 30-minute cat nap before this. But I can't sit still. Like right now, this is as still as I get. And I love it. It's just nice. There's always something to do out here. And when you're at home, oh, there it is. There's that orange glow.
Man, so
I don't know what that big white light is though to the left.
I mean, it looks close to you, but yeah, dude, that is just bonkers. That's crazy.
Oh, it was so cool. It was bitching, and it just went up.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually just looking to see go back through here. See, I mean, even your guys' standard fires that you guys have, like what you've got going on right here, that's amazing how bright that is.
Yeah, so that's cool. What that is that's it's a sheet of plywood all the way around, and you put wood underneath it, and it's called a burning candle. So what happens is the flame shoots up and it creates a venturi, and it actually shoots a 5 to 10 foot flame out the top, and then it burns from the inside out. It's really bitching.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And
There's a good one right there.
Yeah, I'm actually, so you're a little like behind me on the lag there, but I just went back to that picture and looked at it. But I got the picture of so this video right here, is it the King of Hammers fire?
So now you're. Yep, that's it right there.
Man, that's huge.
So those are 30 foot. That the top of that wood you can see on the right, that's 30 foot. So shit, it might have been a 50 foot flame, maybe a 60. It was a good. I mean, it was crazy. It was wild.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's absolutely amazing. What do you think happens next year at Lasertown for King of Hammers? So people who come out, going to King of Hammers, they show up. Is there a Lasertown party one night, or what you got going on?
We're pretty. When it comes to night, I love my sleep, so we're not really into partying at night. It's mainly during the day if we're doing anything. But yeah, it's pretty much on lockdown, kind of like this crisis we got going on. We only allow certain people that we know here, or friends, family, rock crawlers, and it actually fills up quite a bit with just that amount of people, with those people. But we always get head up like, oh, okay, I camp at Lasertown. At this point, we don't allow really any camping or anything. Maybe in the future. I actually had a guy hit me up and wanted to dump his shitter the other day, and I'm like, oh, do I really want to do that? And he came in and he gave me $50, and off we went. I mean, shit, if I get $50 to fill you full of water and let you dump your crapper, maybe that's a good deal. We'll call it Crapper Town if I can make $50.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right move, because you've got Lasertown beautifully marked on your one of your containers. One of my favorite pieces of art you have out there, and I don't know how good Crapper Town would look on the side of a container.
I'll try to walk around, but I think I might lose.
Yeah,
lose you.
I think I might lose you too. And if we want to end with that, whenever we start to wrap things up, I'd be more than happy to do that just in case.
Oh, okay.
See if I can get this image to pull up here. Of course not. Yeah, Google's being weird today, so it's not wanting to be very friendly. But for those who can see that screen, let me see. Yeah, there it is. Really cool Lasertown sign there. But other than that, what do you guys have going on? Because we're kind of in this stalemate with racing. I know personally in Tennessee, they've lifted the ban May 1st. We have a race actually May 8th. A little bit of this, a little bit of that here. So what are you guys doing in the meantime for the Ultra 4 car, for your moon buggy? What do you guys have going on?
We got actually quite a bit going on. So right now my Ultra 4 car is down at Raceco. Jamie Campbell, he's a great fabricator. We on the side of the chassis, from King of the Hammers, they hit some rocks pretty hard, but so we're stiffing those up. He actually cut them out, and we're putting some thicker wall tubing there, and we're actually also putting like another bar out so he can pivot off, or Cameron or whoever's driving the car can pivot off the rocks, and we won't have to replace them anymore. Another thing we're doing to that car is a simple thing: window nets. Right now, the window nets, you unlatch it from the top, it drops down. We're actually going to make it to where you can unlatch it from the bottom and it flips up.
Very nice.
Two reasons why we're doing that is one, if you're flipped over, if you unlatch it, at least it falls towards the ground and you can get out and it's not in your way. And two, when you unlatch it the other way, it goes over typically the outside of the panel and it blocks the sponsors. So we'll eliminate that issue. And then he's doing a few other things so we should get that back tomorrow actually. And that's back in the day. I think we actually finished the race. That was finishing. I think we got 8th place at that race. That was the first year I think I was in 8th place that year, 2000. I don't know. I'm terrible with numbers or dates. But yeah, good. That's a plan with that. And then our goal is to get out in the rocks, and we're not going to do any races this year. We're going to get out in the rocks with Cameron Steele. Which I got to have a talk with Cameron because the whole 5, he did great. He did amazing. But he did 5 races. He raced every single thing at King of the Hammers this year, which is great. But I think we really need to discuss on focusing on, maybe a few of them, not all of them. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. We need to get him out of the rocks more. He needs to get.
I was gonna say, what's your? How do you know Cameron Steele? How did you guys get intertwined together?
That's a funny story. So I was sitting on the couch one Saturday or Sunday and watching X Games, and this Trail of Missions run comes on, and Casey Curry's on it, and a few other people I know, and I'm like, man, that looks like a lot of fun. They start at the border and they go all the way down to Cabo with their Raptors and Jeeps. So I looked into it, and it says the Desert Assassins put it on, which is Cameron Steele, and I sent him a Facebook thing. I said, hey, I'm in the off-road world, the community and whatever, and I really like your show. I've never been to Baja, never been to Mexico. I mean, I've been across the border to Tijuana, but I've never experienced Baja. He goes, okay, well, let me check around and see who you are. So he did that, and we formed a relationship. And come to find out, he's been driving by my house. He drives by my house for the last 20 years to go to work. Huh. So it's crazy, such a small community. So, anyways, I hit him up. He invited us on to trail missions. I went out with my entire family. We left Tecate, went all the way to Cabo San Lucas, and then came back, which is an amazing adventure. Everyone's worried about Mexico, and I know there's issues. Don't get me wrong, but if you know how to do it right, and you like Cameron, those guys know, they know the places to eat, the hotels, the roads, what not to do going through a federale checkpoint. All the ins and outs, and I'm sure they've had a lot of experiences on the do's and don'ts. I'm sure also, at least for some of the stories I've heard. But anyways, to make a long story short, we headed off, and it's kind of went from there. So we went on the second trail of missions, and then I was explaining that I have a really cool Ultra 4 car, and he's been going to King of the Hammers for years. Doing the commentating and I think he was a co-driver one year, and King of the Motos, and he's like, yeah, I think I really want to do that. So I'm like, well, do you know how to rock crawl? And he's like, yeah, I kind of sort of do. I'm like, yeah, well, we're gonna have to make sure you know how to do it. So I was worried he wasn't going to put in the time, because you're a desert racer, you go fast, right? You don't go 3 miles an hour up a rock trail, and he did. He came out. And he brought his bikes out, and then he got a Can-Am, and he was driving that. So he's a really smart, great guy, good person, good family, and we just hit it off. We're kind of like brothers. We just we give each other crap.
Yeah, I think that's cool, and I really think that it's good cool to see the bleed over, because he was, like you said, he ran a bunch of different races that week. We saw a couple guys run a bunch of different classes, a bunch of different things. I wanted to ask you, because I think you have a very unique perspective on this. What do you think about the UTV that ran in the 4400 class. Is that a good idea?
The 4400. I don't know much about the UTV that ran in the 4400 class, but what was it?
It was a Can-Am.
Or did they do well, or how'd they do?
They finished. If I recall correctly, I've slept a couple times since the end of the race, but they ended up finishing the 4400 race. But I actually spoke to a couple 4400 drivers, one in particular who was right up on his bumper at one point, and he basically voiced his safety opinion of, I can't run my race I want to run because I have this UTV in front of me, and I potentially could A, run them over, B, flip over on them trying to make a pass, etc. And he said that it, just kind of raised the question of, it's not the same caliber of vehicle out there, and it seems like a big safety concern more than anything else.
Yeah, I don't really have much I don't know what to say on that. I mean, if it fits the rules, and yeah, I can understand the safety, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one.
Mm-hmm. It's a I don't
because
have
there was a cool Ultra 4. There was also a cool Ultra 4 that looked like a Razor or a Can-Am, but it wasn't. I was just talking to the guy not too long ago. He came from the East Coast, and this thing is bitching. I actually want to buy one. It looks like a Razor, but it isn't. It has portals and IFS front end with a solid. No, I think it was independent. I don't know. It was a really cool concept.
Well, I have the information on.
I should know his name, but I don't.
So
it's a cool car.
His name is Ross Pilgreen. Ross, if you're listening to this, if it's catch wind of you, we talked about it. I know it's not released yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about everything I got. It is IFS up front, solid axle rear, a V6 engine. It's made by Intimidator UTV. Absolutely awesome machine, super fast. Doesn't fit the spec for UTV, but looks like it could be a contender, in my opinion, in the 4400 class. If the weight balance, how long can you keep your car together versus the performance of the car, there's always that balance there. It's cool. So you saw it in person. Tell me a little bit more about your thoughts, other than the fact that you wanted to get one.
I saw it at Wayne. Wayne was doing some shock tuning at Alltech Motorsports. And by the way, if anyone wants some great tuning from a great guy, Wayne at Alltech's your guy. He'll work on anything. He's been around. He actually co-drove with Cameron Steele this year at the King of the Hammers. A great guy. Just a good guy. I can't say enough about him. But anyways, I saw it and I was looking at it. I was like, what the hell is this thing? And it's just cool. The portals, it's really simple, but it looks like it works, and it's light. And I don't know. I really liked it. And the price point on the thing seemed pretty reasonable too. When I talked to him the other day, it's not a $500,000 car. I think it was like 150 to maybe 200 for a brand new car. And I don't know. I can see my kid driving it, at least getting her feet wet in it, not having to spend, a shitload of money to go out and race. And I don't know. I think it's really cool. I only looked it over for about 15 minutes, but I think it's a cool concept for sure.
There's a Mad Ram 11 video for those who want to go and find it. It's I don't remember the title. Go back in his history and look in the King of Hammers era a couple months ago. You'll find it. But I really think that that's the future, because it's got the power plant, power-wise, way faster than any UTV, and it's still got the nimbleness of the UTV and some of the benefits. Like you said, there's portals there. It's a very interesting idea. So all that being said, I think that that's the future. I think we're going to have a hybrid 4400 UTV class come out of it. I think it's just going to be awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So the Ultra 4, we're working on that. We have some other things we're doing to it. We had some boots at King of the Hammers. They're still not working just right. So we're working with RCV, coming up with a better boot flange style design. And what actually broke on the car was a stupid rack where the tie rods go to for the steering. Never had an issue in all the years of running it. and we found the weak point on it, so we'll make that. It was made out of aluminum, billet aluminum, and it's worked great for the last 4 years. And the ears broke off, and we're going to make that out of 4130 chromoly. Armada Engineering's building that, and we'll get that done. So you'll be pretty much race ready here in the next month. And then on the moon buggy, Rodney Stowey, he's been working on that, and we're just doing a few things. I want to be able to trail wheel with it, and the engine gets a little warm. So we when I rolled over a few months ago at the rock crawl, we broke the radiator, so we bought a new radiator, and I'm putting a larger fan in so it cools better. And then I adjusted a few other little things on the car, so it'll be ready to go. Hopefully we're going to have our next event is going to be in Sand Hollow, May, first weekend of May. I think it's 8th or 9th with We Rock. They're still haven't made it official. They're trying to work with the golf course. It'll be at the Sand Hollow Golf Course right there by Sand Hollow Resort. And we haven't got what exactly you're gonna have to do with social distancing. Obviously, there can't be a crowd and all that stuff. So that's next for that. And then Armada Engineering just started building a 6100. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know. Might get it and sell it, or race it, or have someone race it, or do something. So
Wow.
I'll have a go fast here and not too long. So
Well,
good times, man. Life is good, and I can't complain.
yeah, that's pretty amazing to
We
have.
eat, sleep, and breathe racing.
Yeah. Here's an older picture of the car. I know this is before you had the pretty penny going, but yeah, that's really cool. Like I said, I'm a big fan of people taking more stabs at all the different areas of racing, especially at the King of Heroes race now. But I'm a big fan. I'm on a big kick now for the rock crawling. I think that this is really, really cool. I wish that they would bring something like this to the East Coast. Do you think that the East Coast terrain is supportive of this type of rock crawling?
The what again? I'm sorry.
Do you think that this East Coast terrain, like where it's a little bit more slick, you don't have the on-demand traction, do you think that they could do this type of rock crawling on the East Coast?
Yeah, I think they could do it on the East Coast. It would be a little different. When we went to Japan, I guess the way the moisture and the rocks were there, it was like the East Coast. So I think it'll have to be set up a little different. But yeah, they actually have We Rock East Coast events. At Roush Creek, and I don't know, another place. But yeah, I think so, for sure.
Okay. Well, I always like to ask because, again, I think that the more different types of groups that we get all muddled up together, it works out. So I also want to ask, I think you guys have a Can-Am laying around. Are you getting into the UTVs any more than you were the last time we talked?
I had a Razor a few years ago, and I thought we'd use it more. But the having the helmet on and I don't know, we didn't really use it as much, so we sold it. But I haven't really got into the big golf carts that much. I think they're cool. I think they have a purpose, and there's more people with them, which is great out here running around, and they're so capable, cruising through the desert and doing that whole thing. But at this point, we're kind of good on the golf carts.
Yeah. Well, with that, that's pretty much all I had on my docket. We're right at about the hour mark. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to?
No, I think we're pretty good. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram, you can follow Cody Waggoner Lasernut. You can follow also Lasertown JV. JV standing for Johnson Valley. Also, you can do Lasernut Racing, and you can do Lasernut. So we have 4 different Instagram accounts, and we post up regularly. I try to post up every day something, being positive, especially, and the way the world is today and watching the news, you know, you think the world's coming to an end, but it isn't actually. It's just the media doing their thing, putting the fear into people, and you know, get out and live life. You don't have to be locked in your house. You know, if you do it safely, you can get in the car and come out to the desert. I mean, look at this place. It's freaking amazing. There's butterflies and birds and snakes and rabbits and everything else. I mean, you got to get out and get some vitamin D. You got to get some sun. You need to recharge and enjoy life. Don't think that I mean, yeah, people are going to get this whole thing, you know, and if you have an issue with your health, then you need to definitely be obviously, you know, more concerned and more precautious. But stop watching the news, get out of the house, and enjoy America.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. I fully support that. So, like we said when we began, if you want to take us around Lasertown, if we lose you, we lose you. But
Oh yeah.
I would love to see what you got. I think I'm going to make you.
Hey, let me see if I can turn it off. Hold on a second. Yeah, so we actually, when we got the property, we had 10 acres, and there's a wash that goes right through the middle of the property. So if you're wondering what that hump is, it's an actual wash. They actually used to tune down this wash. So when we first did the property, people were pretty pissed off because we put a berm up in the wash, and they're like pissed because they couldn't tune down the wash anymore. But that is a wash. We have a balance beam out there, you can see. So we had an extra leftover beam from the construction of the house. So the kids go across the beam. Got rocks out there. Someday we're going to make a rock crawling course of some kind. My ultimate goal someday is to bring rock crawling back to the Hammers, you know, and actually have an event or out here at Lasertown. Over there is that we just built a little fort for the kids. This is the container house.
Tell me about the mannequin.
It's really cool. The what?
The mannequins there. your stylish female friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mannequins. So there's you know, everyone thinks I'm a freak on mannequins. I think mannequins are cool, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to get some mannequins and put them around Lasertown. So when no one's here, if you look from a distance, it looks like there's a person there. And people, mannequins are kind of freaky anyways.
Yeah.
So that was my thought on that. So we got random mannequins all around the house or around Lasertown. But the container house is pretty cool. It's 10 containers, 3,200 square feet. It's it's a 40-foot by 80-foot of containers. We have a great room, which is made out of 5 containers, which has a kitchen and a sitting area and a fireplace and everything. And then we have a mud room, which we thought the mud room would be more of if the weather was bad, we'd go through there, but really it's turned into a crap storing room and then a laundry room. And then over here, we have 4 complete bedrooms. And we even have an area where you can shower outside. So that's the container home. Then over here, this is what kind of started. I bought 1 container and I put it so my RV wouldn't get blasted by the sand. And kind of like where that bus was at. And one year we got the canopy, you know, the white canopy.
I think we may be losing him.
Hear me?
Oh, you're going in and out. You're coming back just a little bit.
Okay, let me come back. You there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. Let me see if I can go through the house.
Wow. The interior of the house is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we have some lasagna. There's a dog. I'm gonna go out the back and see if you still have connection, so I can get the back part. The utility room. You still got me?
Yep, we're still here.
Okay, so this is the back. There's a pond out there. We got about 50 goldfish and koi, if you can see over there. And then we have the back 10 acres where everyone camps and everything. And then we have the generator in the back with more containers, a playhouse for the kids. So just fun stuff.
Yeah,
good stuff.
That's really, really cool. And it's just crazy that you have invented this this playground in the desert, this oasis in the desert, and it's all tied together with being one of the world's most superior rock crawling trail locations ever. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, we spent the first time I came to the Hammers Johnson Valley was in 1994, so that was 26 years ago, and we came out. I think we actually camped in a tent, and then from there it went to a camper. We had this little Lance camper, and we camped in the. Oh, sorry, back of the truck. We went from a tent to the back of a truck with a tonneau cover on the back. It was like sleeping in a grave, but it was amazing because it'd be warm, and you didn't have to worry about the tent blowing over, and you'd be level. So we went from that to a camper, and then from that, we had kids and dogs. So we finally bit the bullet and bought a nice RV. It took years to find this RV, but we got this RV, and over the years, we would start, we come out here for Thanksgiving, we come out for Christmas, and we come out here for King of the Hammers. We'd spend a month and a half, almost 2 months out here. So with the mother-in-law and kids' friends and the 2 kids and the 2 dogs and the wife, and the RV, I never thought my 40-foot RV would be too small. We were tripping over each other. So One day I'm like, once we got the property, I'm like, well, I keep seeing these cool container houses. What if we get some containers? We put the containers behind my work. I have 2 acres behind my work, and we leveled them up. And we're like, okay, let's cut the walls completely out, and let's make great room. So this room that I'm in right now, it's 40 foot by 40 foot. I had to think for a second. 40 foot by 40 foot. All the walls came out, and then we're like, man, there's no support. How are we gonna? I don't want posts in this room. I want it completely open, no posts. So we came up with Brad Benson. He's my operations manager of Lasernut. He's been with us for 30 some years. A great guy. And he was the mastermind behind this entire container house. I mean, if it wasn't for him, it never would have happened. So I had to put out my kudos to Brad. But you see trusses, right? And trusses hold up roofs, heavy roofs. So we decided to, get some calculation on trusses, and we were ultimately going to have someone build a truss. And like, well, why do we have someone build the truss? We can build the truss. So we got the calculations, and he came up with the load, and we made the trusses, which are actually on top of the house, which hold up the roof of the container.
That's really
cool. We got a free spinning room with no post in it. So we insulated it really good. Right now, it is 85 outside, and we haven't turned the air on yet. Let me see what the temperature is. It's 76 inside. So tomorrow, this week's actually going to be a true test. It's supposed to be 90 tomorrow, and we'll see how hot it gets in here. But it's really nice. It's the breeze is blowing. When the breeze stops blowing, then it starts to warm up.
Yeah.
But it's been cool. It's cool to actually, because you can't. The thing that just killed me was going out to the desert for the weekend. You get everything all ready, and you load up the RV, and you load up the food, and you load up all the stuff, and you get up there Friday night. You spend the night. You go wheeling Saturday, Sunday. You got to be home Sunday, and normally you want to leave Sunday morning to get through, get everything unloaded and get back. So in 48 hours, you spend more time loading and unloading and cleaning and then you are actually out enjoying it. So this is definitely to come out here and, unlock everything.
I think we're losing you a little bit.
Are you? Let me move around again. Can you hear me?
Go. You're back. You're back.
There you are. Did you get any of that, or did you lose me?
Yeah, we got most of it.
Okay.
But I think all that's awesome, and you're exactly right in terms of the investment and driving out there and the actual time that you get in return, actually enjoying yourself. So I think that not only have you created something awesome, but you also have made some efficient steps into enjoying your time better.
Yeah, and it all worked out too. If we didn't have a second place to go to, it's been a blessing in disguise. Because you can't isolate any better in the middle of nowhere with no people, right?
That's a fact. That is an absolute fact.
And you can still go outside, and not have anyone looking at you funny with a mask on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, Cody, what we'll do is we'll actually shut down the broadcast. And you feel free to stay on with me, and we'll talk a few minutes afterwards. But it's been a pleasure to have you on today. Thank you for the tour. I've got to make it out there someday. Sometime I'll be out there, probably for the Hammers. But we'll close it out. Anybody you need to say thank you or any shout outs or anything you like that before we close out?
Yeah, just stay safe and make sure you wash your hands.
All right, wash those hands, people. And with that, we'll close it out. Thanks for joining us, everybody.